Okay, I'm here with Ted at Bezier Games. Ted, what are you going to show us?
Well, I've got Ultimate Werewolf Legacy. And in Ultimate Werewolf Legacy, you play Ultimate Werewolf over 16 games. We've divided it up into 5 chapters, and each chapter has about 3 games in it. And you can play those chapters with the same group, or you can play each chapter with a different group. It plays anywhere from 9 to 16 players, including a moderator. And you play it like you would the traditional Ultimate Werewolf game, where you have a moderator and you have a team of villagers and a team of werewolves, and they're trying to eliminate each other from the village. But in this case, because it's a legacy game, what will happen is everything you do in the early chapters is going to affect the later chapters. So things will change. The moderator is going to get this book here. This is a diary, and this keeps track of all of the games that are being played. And inside of here, you've got sticker pages. In some cases, these stickers are going to get applied to other pages. And this is going to allow you to track what happens in the game, as well as provide just a guide for the entire night of gameplay. The text in red are things that you say to the players. The other things are things that the moderator reads and gives them information about how the game works. But it's really detailed. It goes through basically everything you need to know. It's all in one place here, which is great. And it comes in this really, really nice book. This is a nice little soft cover, gold-edged ribbon book that you get. And
yeah, it looks
you get
really
to keep
nice.
This when you're done. After you've played all the games, you're going to have this book kind of as a memento of everything that happened, because you'll be writing, basically who won each game, who the most valuable villager was on each game, who died, who didn't die, all that stuff. And so that's great. In addition, if the player achieves certain goals, they're going to get certain titles. Like this one right here, this is a mayor. The mayor gets a special power. He gets to nominate and second a player instantly. He doesn't have to wait for another player to nominate someone with him. He gets to do that once a game, which is great. This player was voted to be mayor by everyone else in the village early on, and he'll be mayor the rest of all of those 16 games, which is really cool. It doesn't matter what role card he gets, he's always going to be mayor. And there's little powers like that that players will accumulate throughout the game. By the time they're done, most of the players will have special powers. They'll have all sorts of different abilities, and the game will be totally unique based on how you've played, the decisions your group makes, and everything that transpires through the course of all those games.
And you said there's some secret things that you can't show us.
Yes, there are more things in this box that we didn't show, because they give away some of the stuff that's going on. So only the moderator will get to see those, and only when instructed to by the diary.
All right, so we are back with Bezier, and you've got a new one-night game. Now, we've covered One Night Ultimate Alien and One Night, I think, Ultimate Vampire. Yeah, so there's a new one in town. Ted, what do you want to talk to us about?
So this is One Night Ultimate Supervillains. And so this is brand new. It's going to come out later this year. It's on Kickstarter right now while we're at Gen Con in August. And it has all sorts of great new roles. And what we've done is we've designed this to be kind of the entry-level version of One Night. So anybody who's never played One Night before, this is the version that you probably want to get them started on. It's really accessible. We've done things to make it super, super easy to play. So for instance, one of the villains here, his name is Dr. Peeker. And Dr. Peeker gets to look at someone else's card. He peeks at the card. So not only does it say what it does, it's super memorable for players who want to be able to track exactly what it is each of these roles do, because you've got a whole bunch of roles in the game. And so each of the names are like that. So another one we might have is Switcheroo. So if I can find Switcheroo, there he is. Switcheroo actually switches cards between players. And again, with his name, it makes a lot of sense what he does. And so things like that we've done to make the game more accessible, a little easier. It has its own standalone app. It's all about catching the bad guys. You don't eliminate anyone or do anything else nefarious. There's no voting, there's just pointing. It's really, it's great for kids, it's great for people who are new to the whole idea of social deduction games. And it's really a lot of fun. There's a lot of flavor in the text, and it really kind of gives you that feeling of being a hero trying to catch the bad guys.
Now, is there anything different? You said it had a different app.
Yes. Totally unique app. We've got the voices still done by the same guy who does our regular One Night app, Eric Summerer from the Dice Tower, but he has used a different voice. This is more of the voice of the Ted Knight Super Friends voice. So it's kind of the heroic voice. There's a lot of fun little things in the app, like a random thing. The mad scientist, for instance, what he wants to do is he wants to actually get caught. And so what will end up happening is every time the app plays and he's in the game, he describes what it is, the horrible thing that he did to get it caught. And it's randomized and it's really fun. Each time it's going to be different. So a lot of little things like that that really kind of liven up the game and make it really interesting for people to play.
Okay, so a brand new game we have, 1 Week Ultimate Werewolf. Ted, what do you want to tell us about it?
So 1 Week Ultimate Werewolf is a game based on the one night series of games, except now you've got an entire week to figure out who the werewolves are. We've taken things a little different direction. So you're actually going to Ludwig Castle. Castle of Mad Kids Ludwig is another game that we have. But you're going to Ludwig Castle, you're exploring the castle. Each room gives you a special ability, and you are walking around. You can check the identities of other players that are in the same room that you are each night. There's some staff crawling around. Some of those staff might have the various plans that you have to figure out and uncover. And the game works from 3 to 7 players, takes about a half hour to play. And you've got the same sort of deduction, but now you're slowly gathering information up over a series of nights, basically a week. And at the end of that week, that's when you're going to vote to decide who you think is the werewolf.
Okay, these components look pretty cool. Ted, why don't you tell us a little bit about those?
Sure. So we've got player markers. So player markers are used by the players to move around the castle. And inside here, we're actually going to put rolls, and they'll be face down. You'll be the only person who sees what it is initially. And you'll put it face down inside there, and you'll move this around the castle. At some point, other players that stay in your room overnight, they may be able to switch your tokens around or view your token, possibly. You might be able to view your own token or other players. There's also staff, which are the black, gray, and white markers there. And the staff are moving around kind of autonomously, and they also may have different roles, villager, werewolf, or tanner. And so you're actually physically moving around the castle as opposed to, again, just having roll cards, which is what you have in one night.
And you said it spans 1 week's time.
Yeah, so it's a series of nights. Basically, it's 1 week, 1 night times 5 or 6, depending on how many nights you end up playing.
Now, are you free to move around the rooms?
To some extent.
What's the mechanic for moving?
You have a set of cards, and your set of cards gives you basically the ability to move. In this case, this would be 2 spaces, 0 spaces, or 1 space or 3 spaces, depending on which card you play. However, once you play a card, you don't get it back until all the cards are played. So you kind of have to figure out where you want to go over the next couple turns, because if you use up your cards, you may get stuck in a place that you might not want to be otherwise. In addition, these cards give you a special ability each night. So for instance, this card, if you don't play it to move, you can play it as the Troublemaker, which lets you switch 2 tokens around. The Insomniac lets you look at your own card, or your own token. And again, or you can use it just to stay where you are in that room. So they do 2 different things, but once you play it, it's out until you've used up all of your cards. Then you get them back and you can choose them again.
And this is available now?
It'll be available in October.
October. All right. Thanks a lot, Ted.
Thank you.
If you would like to support us, you can visit patreon.com/dadvdaughter.
Like and follow us on Facebook to stay current on our show schedule, sneak peeks at future shows, and to interact with us.